Hi, Hickory friends! I thought it would be fun today if I told you one of your favorite stories that you've always enjoyed in the classroom. The story is Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And while you're listening to me tell you the story, I want you to think about what the characters in the story are feeling. So the characters are Goldilocks and Baby Bear and Mama Bear and Papa Bear. Are you ready? All right. So, one day, there was a little girl named Goldilocks, and she really wanted to go out and play, but none of her friends were able to play with her that day. So she was feeling a little bit lonely and a little bit bored. So she thought, what should I do today? I think I'm going to go for a walk in the woods. Do you think that's a good idea, to go for a walk in the woods by yourself? Well, that's what Goldilocks did. So she wandered out into the woods, all in between the tall, tall trees of the forest behind her house. And she went farther and farther and farther into the forest until she stumbled upon a sweet little cottage. A pretty little house with flowers around it. It looked so cozy. And she felt very curious. So she decided to go right up to the door, and she knocked on that door and she listened. And nobody answered, so she knocked again. And when she knocked the second time, the door swung open because it was unlocked. So what did Goldilocks do? She was so curious, she couldn't help herself. She went right inside that house. And she saw the coziest little living room with a fireplace and some chairs and a table. And she went right over to that fireplace where it was nice and warm. And she thought, I've been walking for so long, I think I'm just going to sit down. I'm just going to sit down and take a little rest. So she decided to sit in the big chair. She saw this big rocking chair and she went and sat down in it and she started to rock and she said, this chair is much too creaky for me. It was going like this. Creak, 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 creak. That chair is too creaky. She didn't like it. So she got out and she sat in the medium-sized chair and she thought, this chair is not comfortable for me. It is much too soft. It had these soft, soft pillows, and she just sunk into those pillows, and she did not like it. So she got out of the chair, and she looked, and she saw a little baby-sized rocking chair, and she sat in it, and she was like, this chair is just perfect for me. It is just the right size. It is so comfy. It doesn't creak. It rocks so nicely. So she's rocking and rocking and rocking and creak! What happens to the chair? That's right. The chair broke. Oh, poor Goldilocks was so shocked when the chair broke and she ended up on the floor. She felt a little bit sorry for breaking the chair. So she stood up. She looked around the room and she noticed something else. Out on the dining room table were 3 bowls of food that somebody had left there. So she went to the first bowl. It was the biggest bowl on the table, and she took a little bite. And she thought, this porridge is much too hot for me. It was just way too hot. So she went to the next bowl, and she took a little bite of that porridge. And she thought, this porridge is much too cold. I don't like to eat cold porridge. So she went to the last bowl and she took a little bite. And what did she say? This porridge is just right for me. And she ate it all up till all that porridge was gone. Now that she had a full belly, she started to feel a little bit sleepy. So she looked around and she decided to wander up the stairs. And she went up the stairs, and what did she see? She saw a bedroom that had 3 beds in it. So she was thinking, with my full belly and after my long day walking in the woods, I just feel a little bit tired and I think I could lay down and rest. So she went to the first bed and she tried to jump up on it and she thought, this bed is a little bit too soft for me. There were tons of pillows and blankets and she sunk just too far into the bed. She didn't like it. So she got out and she went to the next bed. And when she jumped up on it, ouch, it hurt. That bed was way too hard for her and she did not like that one either. So Goldilocks went to the last bed. She crawled in, she scooted under the covers, she grabbed the pillow and she thought, this bed is just right for me. It's like it was made for me. And Goldilocks, well, she fell fast asleep. She was feeling so tired and so full from that porridge that she just couldn't help herself. She drifted right off to sleep. Well, Goldilocks was taking her peaceful sleep when somebody decided to come home to their cottage. The three bears, who had been out on their own walk in the woods, came to the door of their cottage and they thought, we left the door open? Uh-oh, that doesn't seem right. So they went inside and they looked around and something was not right in their house. They first went to the fireplace and Baby Bear noticed, very sadly, that his rocking chair was in pieces on the floor. He said, someone's been sitting in my chair and now it's broken. How did Baby Bear feel when he saw his broken chair? He was very sad to see that. He actually started to cry a little bit. He does not like to have something broken of his. Mama Bear and Papa Bear tried to comfort Baby Bear, but he was just so sad. So they walked over to the table and they looked at their porridge. And Papa Bear said, someone's been eating my porridge. There's a couple bites gone from my porridge. And Mama Bear looked at her porridge and she said, someone's been eating my porridge too. They definitely took a bite of my porridge. And Baby Bear looked in his bowl where his porridge was and he thought, someone ate all of my porridge up. That's not fair. He must have been so sad, that Baby Bear. So Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear were feeling very confused at this point. They were just wondering who went in their house. So they decided to go upstairs and see if anything else was wrong with their home. They went up the stairs very quietly and a little bit scared of what they might find. They opened the bedroom door, and what did they see? Papa Bear went to his bed and he said, my pillows and blankets are all messed up. Someone's been sleeping in my bed. And Mama Bear went to her bed and she said, my blankets are all messed up too. Someone's been sleeping in my bed. And Baby Bear went to his bed and he looked and he saw, there's somebody in my bed. Ah! He was so scared and so shocked that he screamed. And when he screamed, Goldilocks jumped awake, and she was so surprised and so scared that she jumped up and she ran down the stairs and she ran out the front door of the house and she kept running all the way out into the woods, and she ran all the way home. What do you think about that? So that was a lot of feelings happening in that story. Mama Bear was feeling very upset to find her house out of order. And Papa Bear was too. And Baby Bear was actually feeling very sad that his things got ruined. How do you think Goldilocks was feeling in that story? She went from being lonely and bored because she was all alone and she had no one to play with, to feeling curious when she found this house in the woods, to feeling a little bit guilty because she broke someone's chair and ate someone's porridge. And then when she woke up and saw 3 bears standing near her, she felt scared too. and ran all the way home. Well, that is the end of my story. I hope you liked it. I know you love Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I would love to hear your version of the story if you want to do a reenactment, if you want to act out the story. All right. I love you guys. Bye.